All right. Hey, y'all. It's Trent Knox, and let's get into it. This is the latest update for Whop, which is Whop 4.35.1. I assume that's the same thing for the desktop version as the mobile app. I think now, in terms of updates, I think Whop is pretty much on the same page mobily as it is on desktop. Now, I think the desktop aspect is the preferred use case. I mean, the mobile is good. I mean, I actually just tried their AI ordering feature for WAPs, but some stuff has changed, and a lot has changed since I last did a WAP review. And I just kind of want to jump into this thing and show you guys some of the updates. And so, bam. Right now, as you see, what's new? As of July 13th, 2025, we're seeing a cleaner layout by popular demand. They improved the layout and added a new left side nav bar. Organize your WAPs, create custom categories, and reorder apps exactly how you want. Pay with the WAP balance, skip credit card fees, and use your balance to buy stuff on WAP. WAP partners refer a new creator to WAP and earn 4% of everything they make. And I've been doing that for a while. So if you're clicking the link in the description below, wap.trentknox.com or wap.cybercitymedia.com, either one, whichever is in the description, you will be taken to set up your WAP account. And that's how that works. But I want to go back to where I left off here. Basically, I was messing around with wap.com/cybercitymedia, which is the creator network, and I really haven't populated any of this information. But the reason why I'm even discussing it right now is because basically what has happened is they've changed the dynamics. So now you have your wap.com, and it's gone back to the old way of the websites where you have your user or your organization URL and then a sub page for each particular WAP that you're selling, right? So you have your organization and then you have the product. So WAP, organization, product. This is a blessing. I'm not gonna lie. To have this back is amazing because it was really chaotic for the past 6 months where having this disorganization of links, wap.com slash whatever the product is, there's no recorrelation to your organization or you or your profile or your user. And so now having this product route back is a blessing, right? And so you still can change everything in terms of call to actions. You can like change and set up whichever you want your link to be, a call to action redirect URL, and also a post purchase redirect. Um, and so yeah, I mean, super happy to see this it's not really a change, but brought back. That's what I'm super excited about that. See, I think I'm gonna leave this as Cyber City Media slash Cyber City Now Media for now, and then I might change it. Um, because it just looks like everything is back to normal in that regard. But again, I still just use I really primarily use WAP as a payment system, right? So that's why you'll see like, you know, have a few clients that are, you know, using I'm using this with one client right now, um, as a payment system, and then another client I'm still doing like Zelle and Cash App and a bunch of other things that aren't necessarily integrated into WAP yet as a payments option. One, because I just don't think that they get their fee, so they're really stuck using Stripe and you know, for WAP, you know, they're while it would be a blessing if they had the traffic, they're not quite yet there in terms of checkout links and these sorts of things. But um, yeah, I mean, I can still just kind of switch back and forth between my organizations here really simply. So it's really, you know, beneficial this change and reversion back to the old way. But this is this system, just the user interface makes Stripe way easier to use. Like a lot of people get complicated and confused because of the way that Stripe is set up. And so like I understand it's like an additional 3% to go through Whop as a marketplace, but I'll take it because of the user experience. Like it's very simple to spin up another checkout link and just send the checkout link out to the customer. So like all I have to do is create the checkout link, tell them which community that I want them to be a part of, which in general sense, like if it's a creator, a celebrity, or an influencer, if it's coaching or it's mentorship, it's a part of the syndicate, an accelerator, academy, blueprint, metapreneurship, consulting, and a bunch of other stuff, but we'll don't really want to get into that. But I can just easily set up a one-time payment. Let's just say that this customer is going to be $4.99. I just go from there and I set the stock to 1 because I want this I want this to be one-time purchase. The link is going to just, go away, but this customer is going to be a clipping client, right? Uh clipping clipping service, uh daily content, uh distro. It doesn't say that's what it is, right? Okay. And so I'm doing a clipping service, I'm providing them with daily content distro and some analytics reporting, something like that. Let's just say it's that, right? And so per month they're paying 4.99. Oh, actually, they're paying 4.99 on a one time, not a recurring. But let's say this is just one time, real quick, so that they can get there's basically a trial opportunity for them to work with me, right? And I can show this on my store page, but this is a private link that I'm going to be sending directly to the client. So I'm not going to be like giving this information out. So I'm going to set it to auto expire. See how it says 7 days, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? What I like to do is because it doesn't sometimes the customer buys it on weird days, so I just do 30 days just to make it like very plain and simple and straightforward that they're going to get canceled in 30 days after they pay the one time, right? And then I may or may not want to redirect them to a link. Sometimes I do calendar links and such, just so that they can book a session with me and have a conversation. But this is going to be I have clients and stuff like that, right? That I set these things up for. So let's just say it's clipping client 1, right? I'm gonna move my cursor. Clipping client number 1, right? And so this is a one-time payment that they're gonna make. And it's interesting with this particular, WAP, I have the option to do crypto. So if someone wanted to pay in Ethereum or if they wanted to pay in Bitcoin or something like that or Solana, they could pay me directly through the crypto page. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create that. It's gonna pop up, right? This is clipping client 1, right? So we're gonna copy the link and then what I'm gonna do is go into a private window here and I'm gonna paste this here. Let's do this. Um, and then this is what you're gonna what they'd see, right? So what they're gonna see is this pop up, and then you know what they're gonna want to pay in crypto. So it's gonna say after checking out, you'll be securely redirected to Coinbase to finalize your purchase, right? And let's just do test at TrentKnox.com just to just to give it a test. So we're gonna click join, right? And then let's see. So it's gonna open up Coinbase, I believe. So let's do complete on Coinbase, commerce. Okay. Um, so then let's see what this looks like. So then it's gonna show the commerce here. Select a payment method, connect with another wallet, pay with Coinbase or whatnot. And then they go through the process, right? And so this is gonna actually what it's gonna do is it's gonna push a request to a MetaMask or Smart Wallet or a Coinbase wallet or Coinbase, or you can even connect another wallet. So it's pretty straightforward. It looks like in terms of Coinbase Commerce, in terms of what they can do, what it's capable of doing. So let's go back to this tab real quick. So we're not going to be, actually processing this, but this was just an experiment to see what that looks like in terms of if it was a clipping client that wants to pay crypto. Okay, and so let's go back to this tab here and close those other tabs out. So yeah, I mean, in terms of that, as you can see, I didn't purchase. There's still one stock. So for anybody who wants it, 30 days of clipping, I have a deal right now for 4.99 for 30 days of clipping. I'll clip your content for you, and distribute it and provide some analytics. So if you want this deal, it's in the it's in here right now for 4.99. You can get it. I'll leave it up here for a while. I may delete it, etc. You know how the deal goes. For anybody who needs that sort of content clipping, I have it. It's an opportunity here. But yeah, lots of changes. So let's even look at the main page here. Here we go. This is what I was trying to figure out. It's how we scroll up here. So this is the home page. Um, Interestingly, you have the streaming on the side here. See Whop Clips is streaming, and then you see some people chatting and stuff like this. So, you're getting kind of a Discord vibe, but also like a Facebook vibe, and you're getting multiple vibes when you come on Whop right now. It's actually a very nostalgic feeling, and it's good because I mean the the part of their e-commerce is as good as the part of their social component, and the Discover has been improved, um based on what I think in my thought process. For a while it said Discover/new, and that really wasn't working. One thing, uh leaves a lot of things up for desire is like I wish this was like I'm looking for clippers. And if I type that in, I wish it was like a little bit more of a chat GPT feeling. You know what I mean? Like I wish that it would pop up and would say, respond with me, and then like based on AI kind of, show me some things like based on this search component. Like I wish this was more of like a chat, an LLM in some ways. I wish it was like that way of corresponding in results. But hey, it looks it's still like kind of like a directory of sorts, so you can search for stuff, but it's gonna be it's gonna be sent back to you, and that as a directory, as search results rather than an LLM, which is really interesting because with everything even that's going on with ChatGPT 5 and everything, and the way that even Google produces results, the first thing that pops up is not the search result these days. Obviously search results are very curated, but the first thing is the AI overview, right? And so it's like they just need an AI overview first, and then everything below would be like the results, like that would be, they could even do it where it's like paid advertising in kind of a way where it's like you could promote your WAP to display higher, as a search result, right? So I see a lot of opportunity here for development, and shout out to the guys, Steven and and Chase, right? So like both of them are killing it, right? They're both killing it. The team over at WAP has made the right changes. I think they've listened to the community. Finally, I think they've brought back like the things that are most important. Maybe it took a while to kind of get to this space, but I feel like they've made the changes that they needed to do and listen to the community in terms of the actual like not the scammers, the spammers, or the legacy, you know, people. Like I would say like not even legacy people, like you know, the successful people, but the people who are on the grind, the hustlers or whatnot that are trying to make it, on the internet, but haven't yet broken through. Like I feel like they finally listened to them and said it and brought it back to where like it's really there's really a real use case, a real purpose, I should say, for WAP again. Because like the competition was, WAP, School, Kajabi. You even look at the Stand Store, you look at Beacons, you look at other platforms out there that are link in bio tools and smart pages and landing pages and whatnot, like even ClickFunnels and such, like where there's a bit of like a list your offer to it, or list a digital product, or find your community. I think WAP is really cutting through the noise right now. It's different because it's always had this sort of like learning curve, like and a high barrier to entry. But I think that now that what they're doing is a little bit more simplified, um, I think that user adoption and whatnot will improve. It's really great to see that discoverability is back. You don't need to be logged in. Oh, they kind of answered this question, this issue as well. You don't have to be logged in to see previews of live streams, right? That's an I brought this problem up, before, being like, w- if people could just see what's happening on the platform, I think more people would be um engaged in learning about it, right? And so that was one of the biggest barriers to entry. So it's great to see that live streams are now public again. Obviously, I don't think you can watch them, but because you kind of have to like join a program or something. But at least you can see what's happening, right? So like you can kind of like semi watch stuff, I guess, in a way. But I think it's gifting. Yeah. So it's like it gives you a little small GIF preview. It's not like you hover over and you can see what's happening. But if they were to take this and then like Twitchify it, I think that they would like put the free live streams as public, and then make the, paid live streams maybe like make them sort of have a level of priority, but then like I don't know, like make it a little bit, like maybe mix it up a little bit, maybe even, I don't know, maybe categories. Like if you go to reselling, I don't think, live streams are at the top, but you can kind of see different things now. Cause like before it was very difficult to like see, what was on the platform. Also this little scrolling feature, you have to hold shift down whenever you like scroll the menu. But as you can see different things. Like I operate an agency category, and then I also operate, in the business category. Personally, use my personal WAP in the business category, um, because I just don't. I think of myself as somebody who's coaching business, not social media. Like in 2025, business is social media, online is real life. You utilize it as a distribution channel, right? So like take for instance email, right? People talk about email. um Emails need to be warmed up. Like you have a domain and you have an email list and you need to warm it up, right? And so you go to these services and they warm up your email for you. They create content and they send emails and they warm up your emails, right? And so like that's sort of like the thought process when it comes to social media. I've been talking to different creators and different entrepreneurs about warming up social media accounts, right? And so either you hire an agency to do that, or you find some, gray market uh dealer of, or marketplace I should say, of social media accounts where you get a a social media account that's already warmed up. And so yeah, that's sort of like what's happening right now in the landscape of business, right? You have social media, you have email, you have SMS. Those three things right there are, what how can you make it more simple and easier to get to someone's device, right? Get to someone on their smartwatch, on their phone, on their desktop. What is the way that you can get in communication with them the easiest to offer them a product, service, or solution, right? And that has been where I think WAP is doing good. I think they could do better. Obviously, some things that I've mentioned in this video already that they could change based on what I've seen. Um, and the progress is there though. They've definitely listened to the community and implemented changes that have made this platform once again viable for an online business in a lot of ways. I know I know some people talk about what was I going to say? Some people talk about like no code uh AI website development and that like you can just like build things for yourself. That's a that's true to some cases, but a lot of the case is that you don't have a community, right? You don't have an established user base. And so you need to be able to reach a marketplace and have your offer cut through the noise. Because there's just so much noise these days. And the conversation is around noise over signal and signal over noise, right? We want signal over noise, and we want to cut through, and we want to be, uh, we want the value that we have to create, to give to the world. Let's put it straightforward in a sense. Now, Mr. Beast did say on the Colin and Samir episode with Mark Zuckerberg, if you watched it back then, that you know um you are limited by the audience that can receive your content. So if you're an English speaker, you're going to reach an English audience. It, if you're niched to a high degree, you're going to reach a niche audience, right? So broadening your content by dubbing your content, by clipping up your content, and publishing it out there for different types of consumers, right? And different types of potential prospects, leads, and clients. Like you just have to kind of meet them where they are, right? And so I think WAP is doing that, and making it simpler for us as WAP creators, as they say, to make money online, right? And so like WAP has been the platform, the make money online app, and I think that they're continuing to do great things in that space. I don't think that there's a close second even in terms of a platform that offers this type of opportunity. I think maybe Lemon Squeezy is kind of close. But it used to kind of be like that maybe to a degree System.io was closer. But then they killed their marketplace, so there's no marketplace anymore. Marketplaces in general are at least when it comes to enterprise level clients, like highly sought after. So they continue to they continue to increase their value as they make their platform more accessible to people. Like the what they had before in terms of like how they made their platform sort of exclusive and like in a walled garden, it wasn't the way to go. And I said that to them directly. I was like, look, if you make a walled garden, people aren't going to want to enter the park, right? And so yeah, I think now we have there's a lot of things to enjoy. There's a lot of entertainment value just on the surface level of just coming onto the platform and exploring opportunities. As you can see, like they've processed 1.4 almost $1.5 billion in payments, and 10 million purchases. 111,000 products are available. That means that there are just a lot of people that are successful on the platform, and I've been successful on the platform, for the what it's worth, the small amount of success that I've gained on it. Um, and I keep on pushing myself to get better and do better, and I'd be more of a consumer. I've actually consumed on WAP, which is surprising for me. I've actually worked with other creators that are on the platform, and purchased their WAPs. Uh, I'm kind of a solopreneur, like do it on my own kind of guy. And something what I've just found is like the community on WAP is of people that are actually pretty good at what they do. So, sharing the love, I guess, in some ways of, what I earn, I find other people that can help the process. And so yeah, it's been a good experience you know, working on WAP and working with other creators on WAP. You've seen the video I did in the past with WAP, the other WAP creators that I was closer to earlier on when they had the more WAP University going on. But WAP University has kind of slowed down. I think they've they've made some organizational changes and such so that different people are doing different things at WAP. But hey, I mean, like, maybe the component of WAP from a higher level will come back in a different way. I know there's like a different WAP that I'm a part of called the WAP Power Users, and I really haven't contributed much there. Um, and it's a little bit like a little bit I would say, I don't want to call it toxic, but like it's a little bit I don't know what you call it, a little bit spicy. Let's just say that. It's a little bit spicy, and I don't know if where my fit is in there yet, quite yet. And so I'm still using a lot of WAP, in my day to day. Am I using WAP? Not quite yet. But it's definitely closing the gap. Maybe there's experience, a gamified experience that comes to the platform that gets me to use it on a daily a little bit more. I'm working on a I'm working on a text game with ChatGPT and Lovable and this other thing called Code Pen. Just like kind of working on um a game that focuses on learning the processes of running an online business. I think that are young people on two different sides. There are young people who are very extroverted in the sense that they go out, they test a bunch of different apps, they try things. Maybe they're a little bit of a scammer, and like they just trying to figure it out, right? They're trying to figure out how to make a name for themselves, and figure out how to make a way for themselves in this world. Um, so you'll see that type of individual, let's say, I don't, maybe not 10, but like 11 to 15, um, out there trying to figure it out, 16, 17, 18, they're already ready to, already, well, not to say that they're like all the way there, but like you kind of expect them to kind of be scamming and doing these things. But when it's like 11 to 14, it's kind of like, well, what are you doing? Like, why are you trying to scam me? An adult, scam your friends at school, but don't come online and try to scam me, right? But so I think there's like some parental, you know, there's got to be some things out there, but it's just like when news sites roll up and these things happen, like there's only so much that people can do about this, COPA and the GDPR and all these things. Like you don't expect like these young scamming kids to be out there trying to scam so quickly, but it happens. And so like that's something that has to be worked around. And like there has to be some, some sort of like parental controls and these sort of things that kind of like not even parental, platform controls, they kind of separate the adults from the children, like, and that's the struggle that Facebook has, the struggle that Instagram, there are all these social media platforms have. Any platform that's online right now, just like making the differentiation and separating the two, like just because nobody really wants to deal with that shit. But you know, practically speaking, like you can't prevent kids from making money. Like they have to figure out how to make money just as much as an adult is. And I understand a lot of adults are like they don't want the competition, but young kid who's entrepreneurial and like let's say a savant or something like that, like a young genius, like figuring these things out. Like, dang, it sucks, but there has to be some way to kind of like manage them and like kind of like contain that, whatever that is, in an environment. So, but for not those people who are not geniuses and can't figure it out for themselves, all that stuff, the other side of the coin is like the education system, right? Like kids have to go to high school, kids have to go to middle school, they got to go to college, all these things. Like kids have to get educated, right? And so my game is to kind of like teach those kids that are not geniuses how to like click buttons and manage a checkbook and like um just like make things happen for themselves when in a world which is you know heading in a direction where there aren't any handouts and there's not like any free lunch and there's just not like there's no easy road. Like you can't just go sit on someone's payroll and just like mooch and suck up their capital because you're gonna. I mean, the robot can do that because like why wouldn't they like implement a Tesla bot or something like that to just like get you off of their payroll? Because you have to like have a house, you have to go home, you gotta eat, sleep, drink, all these different things that a robot doesn't have to do, and electricity doesn't cost as much as maintaining a human a human being. And so it's like they're entering into a world where they got to learn a lot more about reality, and reality has changed. And so like when they would sit, when my parents and the generation in between my parents and myself talked about balancing a checkbook, they were actually talking about balancing a checkbook. But now it's like balance your crypto wallet, balance your fiat wallet, and also balance your bank account, and then balance this and balance that, and balance your rewards, and balance your travel points, and balance this and balance that. And it's just so many different things in numbers that you have to balance out there that I'm trying to teach, right? Because I mean, the way what I have had to learn to do, is like use support systems out there, whether it be, like I don't know, unemployment to employment to food stamps to food credit to credit cards to rewards points to benefits like Grubhub connected to your Amazon. Like there are all these things that you have to learn in modern society to survive. Like it's a survival system, right? And I feel like that people are just not being taught these things and they're expected to know them. And a lot of them you learn them, but then you learn new things. Like today I was taught something about travel, and maybe this is a paid thing and I won't say who said it, but basically that like if you use a VPN and you buy travel from outside of the United States, you can earn more points and reduce the fees that you would if you were paying for international travel within the United States. So it's like simple things like it's like weird things like that. It's like you have to figure out ways to kind of like, I don't want to say hack the system, but like, you know, basically cheat. Yeah, I wouldn't call it cheat codes either. I mean, because like cheat codes would insinuate that, you know, that you're supposed to be oppressed. And like, by no means are you supposed to be oppressed, right? There are simple, like, there are simple rules in civilization that you should follow. Like and it's pretty straightforward, Ten Commandments type, biblical like things. Other than that, it's like, you know, it's like, it's just like, just you know, be a good person. Like that's a simple fact. Like the scamming thing is tough, right? It's tough because there's a difference between making a mistake, and, over promising and under delivering, than, hacking into somebody's uh Coinbase account or crypto or their bank account, and, or misrepresenting yourself as a brand that you're not. Like Warner Brothers is this one scam that's hitting me up is like a Warner Brothers scam. It's like I don't even have whatever streaming service Warner Brothers is. Like you're not going to catch me on that one. That's not how you're going to get me. But not to say that I haven't been got. Like I've been got by employment scams before, So it's like there's a lot going on in the world, and so it's just like, what can you do to make it, and how can you like make it happen, right? And one of the things, and I know I've kind of deviated from the WAP conversation, but I'm still on topic in terms of WAP because WAP is the make money app. But I kind of wanted to also highlight something that I'm doing, which is called the Internet Culture Pulse. I'm trying to keep a pulse on what's happening in on the internet, like internet culturally, the meta, as some people say, just to kind of tap in and understand, like, these people are doing things online because there's an opportunity to make money, right? It's just straightforward. People don't stream because they love to stream. They stream online because they know that they can get donations, they can get subscribers, they can get ad revenue, they can sell merchandise, they can be out there doing things to make money. As an alternative to struggling to find a 9 to 5 or a 12 to 12 or 4 by 12, like just you know what I mean? It's just like just trying to make it right now. People who are on the 9 to 5, like Summit 1G put out a clip recently. It's like, man, you could struggle to get hours. Like you're just trying to find money. Like it's any way to get money. Cause like if you don't have money, you're a loser. You're a loser. Like if you do not have money, you're a loser. And uh you don't have a mechanism to survive. You don't have food, water, and shelter. Like I mean, maybe if you're a multi-generational family living under one household and they don't want to kick you out, like then you could be like not the biggest loser, but I'm sure your grandmother or your grandfather or your great grandfather or whoever the head of household is thinking like, what is this bum doing, with her boyfriend, sucking up my electricity, and and like bumming smokes off of their cousin, whatever the case may be for their situation, right? And I could get the power of family. I also, am, close with my family, and I believe the support system is there more than, you know, the, the strangers and you know, there are some good situations where friends in these and communities can support you, but I mean, realistically speaking, there's nothing like blood, right? There's nothing like your actual family, and even in situations where you're adopted, that's closer than some communities, and so like it would be great to, for the vast majority of us who don't have those sort of support systems, to to an enterprise scale, or even a a small town scale, right? We have to depend on other means and other mechanisms, right? And so we have to hustle. We have to put in hard work. We have to figure it out. Like it's not going to always just fall into your lap. It's not going to just pop off. So you have to push for things. And so like streaming, podcasting, vlogging, any of these sort of mechanisms that people do, it's not for it's not for fun and games. People are doing this so that they can put bread on the table. People can put food in their belly so that they can, provide, right? And some it doesn't, well, I mean, maybe sometimes it's to have more luxuries in life, right? Sometimes, like, maybe there's like, pillow princesses out there that don't actually need to work, right? And they only work because they want to have a nicer Mercedes. They want to, I don't know what, even thinking about that, like, just makes me think, like, there's no way that those people are doing it for that, but there's got to be more of an attention grabbing reason, right? So some people do it for the attention. Not gonna lie, that's probably a true fact, is that there's some people who, create content and push things out there for the attention, like entertainers, I guess, musicians, comedians, and just like kind of bums and stuff like that. But people who are actually like trying to do something, be someone in a more of a contributor, as a contributor to reality, people like who are generating virtual worlds, people who are architecting and making blueprints for I don't know, like, facilities of grandeur. I have like large megalithic buildings, these sort of things, like creatives at the at a high level, right? They have a purpose, I feel like, and maybe I'm kind of soapboxing here, and maybe these things that I believe, and I mean, I could be challenged on my ideas, and what I think is um what should be held in high regard versus what uh shouldn't be. I mean, my mind could be changed on these things. I just have to, I have to be there has to be some level of proof, right? That people aren't out working for uh for lack of a better term, for money. Like, that's I get people saying things like, for fulfillment in life, like activity, but I still think that even that component, like, you bring it down and ultimately it has some superficial aspect to it, like attention, right? Just to be kind of like, frankly, that's the way that it is. Um, but retrospectively, and realistically speaking, like, I'm not against attention. Like, you need attention, you need marketing, you need advertising, you need a way to get out there with your services, right? And so warming up these things, like, they're just the way that it is. And so it's sort of like a left versus right thing, but in a lot of ways, like, crunching the numbers and looking at it is like the only way to make it. You have to reach larger audiences. It's just, you have to get eyeballs, you have to gain attention. And so that's really the only reason why I'm even making this video, right? Because, like, forget WAP, and like forget any platform that is a tool to a greater means for me as an individual, for me and my partners, for me and my larger community my community at large, you know. Um I watch documentaries, I watch tutorial videos, I watch podcasts, I watch these things with the intent to garner or gain information to implement in my system, in my operations, and in my production, so that I can provide some level of value to potential uh third parties, right? And so I work hard to do this. Like, right now, in the process of this internet culture pulse, I'm producing these short form videos with AI. And you can tell that that's not me, right? I mean, pardon me, if you watch this video and you watch any of my regular videos, you would you would know that that's obviously, AI manipulated. Um, because I don't have that sort of cadence that it has. But at the same point in time, it's the same things that I'm thinking about, right? I'm thinking about who are the top contributors to the cultural zeitgeist. I'm thinking about these things and I'm programming this system to behave like me so that I might be informed by me in my voice, as opposed to having to go hunt this information down constantly, right? But kind of like curating it in a sense and aggregating it, right? So I'm already aggregating it, and then I'm trying to curate it, right? And I am curating it into podcast format, clip format, into blog format, so that it can be digested in a way that is summarized and consolidated in a way that isn't like so obscure as to being forced to go on to an algorithm that's also trying to sell me other things beyond the information that I'm actually looking for, you know? And I'll buy it, like making this long ass video and publishing it on YouTube and any platform. There's going to be a certain demographic of people who don't have YouTube Premium or don't have whatever the paid service is to be able to uh get away from the platform ads, but they will be forced to see other people promoting and advertising, right? So I can't prevent that from happening because of the marketplace of ideas and like the whole concept of there being a social component of the network, right? So I have to publish this content, and people are going to be, and I will benefit uh tertiary, no, that's not the word, that's not the proper word, but I mean it does describe what I'm saying, but it's not gonna come off right. But like as a byproduct of being a part of it, I do benefit from other people spamming you, and trying to sell you stuff. For instance, this recent activity thing that's been cycling and probably given everyone who's watching this video um a level of hypnotism, right? Just kind of just paying attention to what kind of things are happening, and what sort of changes are occurring and how many purchases are occurring and what's happening, right? And so this activity, these things going on in the world are what we're trying to understand better of what we can do, right? How can we enjoy our experience in life, right? Beyond the requirements that we all have our in our chores of life, be it washing your clothes, brushing your teeth, mowing the lawn, paying the cable bill, that's an old person statement, paying the internet bill, which may be an old person statement in the future as well. Um, but just by just trying to exist in modern society, uh it, and so we all try to process um as much as we possibly can, and so if this is too complex of me putting down this on wax, on record, just to try and give you an idea of what's happening, what you're looking at, as I get a potential spam call on my Apple Watch. Uh, links in the description below. Whop.TrentKnox.com, Whop.CyberCityMedia.com. Both will take you there. I don't even expect you to register or sign up for any of my programs, but just check this out. Give it an exploration. Look into it. See the big picture here. It's a distribution mechanism. It's a platform for you to sell your stuff on. I think it's the best one, you know? Um, and then I I would say I should say I recommend that you publish your stuff on all platforms and on your own platform. I'm not this like you know, exclusive absolutist, right? I'm not someone who's saying just sell it first party, like, and don't sell on marketplaces, you know? I would say sell your stuff everywhere, you know, don't just do it on school. Don't do it on ClickFunnels. Don't just do it on ClickBank, whatever it is. Just sell on everything, right? And get your stuff out there and try your best to get in front of the people that are going to care. You got to find people who are going to care to buy your stuff, that believe in what you do, that believe in the value that you bring to them, right? And so, like, I published all social platforms, right? I published to YouTube, I published to Facebook, I published to X, I published to all the platforms. Um, and the benefit is, you know, I mean, theoretically, the benefit is I reach a broader audience, right? And I should be publishing to my own site too, but you know, I don't have that level of, I don't have that level yet. That level is still to be unlocked. One day I might have my own, you know, television app and other things, but for now it's just, you know, it's pretty straightforward. Just make YouTube videos. I just record. I guess I record a podcast. I record podcasts and I put them on Spotify, and then it gets redistributed everywhere, I guess. We just try, man. We push and we try. We work, I guess. You know, and we hope for the best. We hope for the best. Uh, that that everything works out. You know, that we have the right technology at the right time. Um, which I've had experiences recently where that wasn't the case. Um, you know, I had technology, but you know, a small investment or a large investment in something else, you know, you don't know where you could be. Like you know, I've got cameras and stuff like that that sit as dead paperweights effectively most of the time. Because this is not the right tool for the job in 2025. This is a tool for a job 2020 or 2019 or whatever. My PC is a tool that's working, although you might see hardware issues present themselves because for whatever reason my camera and my capture card like to glitch out. And so uh there may be a bug in that regard, but for right now it doesn't seem like I'm having that big of an issue with it. And so we're pushing. I see just there was a small glitch just right there. You know, and so we have to constantly update because you know planned obsolescence and all of that. But sometimes I just feel like if I just feel like that I won't, if I spend the money, it's just gonna get locked up in that you know resource again, just like how this paperweight is right here, and I probably can't get out of that camera what I put into it. And even if, like, let's say I just had this camera right here that, you know, it's pretty good. Like, let's not get it wrong. Like, you know, it's a very good camera. But does it do what the latest ones do with the Wi-Fi and the this and the that? No, it doesn't. And it just sits there, you know? And, so if I went on a shoot, like, I can't get out of this what someone might get out of I don't know, a Sony A1 or a new Panasonic S1 II or whatever, you know, Mach 2 or whatever the case may be, or even like, you know, they got this new Micro Four Thirds thing and or like APC PSC, I don't know. You know, they got all these different new cameras and stuff like that. I can't even keep up. I don't even really know. Like if there's a new red, I have no idea. There's a new black magic, I got no idea. Like I have no idea. I wish I knew. It just seems like you know, in terms of CESs and NABs and the you know, all of these different conferences that people that it doesn't cut through for me. It's just like I'm not even sure what really cuts through. And so, you know, these are some of the topics that I think should be included into my text game or whatever it is. Like these things should be included. But it's like it's an experience that people have to go through to really realize, you know. I don't know if you can simulate it really. It's a simulation in some ways, the game that I'm building. So I want to simulate the experience of the process so that the process can be adapted and that people can actually implement it in the in real life. You know, simulate it so that people can be like, okay, this is the strategy. It's a strategic simulation of how to run an online business. And I just want people to kind of like just value the game at the same time as like, you know, you can win, you can lose. Obviously, value, you know, try to win more than you lose, but like, just like push. Just that's the thing. Like, use more AI, right? Um, like implement AI more in life so that you can be a better you and help more people. Like that's realistically what I've tried to do is use ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, all of these apps to improve myself and how people what kind of value I present to people, right? Because I feel for years, man, for years, like my value was hard to assess. There was not an adjuster that could uh could value or put out a value on an adjustment, you know, for your boy, right? You know, for every female that I engaged with, you know, I'm sure they uh had me going to the pawn shop taking low fees on me, you know. You know, they were ready to trade me in on, you know, trade me in at Best Buy $10, right? Whatever cost it was, they were willing to take the yell on it. Not me, man. I ain't trying to do that with my cameras. I don't trade in my cameras nor my women like that. So, you know, and some may argue that's the opposite, but yeah, I'm not about that. You know, people have value, you know, and and for me that stays in memory, right? Like you have to be people people have to have a good memory um of your contribution to their life. And so I hope in this video that I put it out there, and that you would do so kindly as to subscribe to the channel, hit a like on the video, and comment if it has any value in that regard. But in all of the ways that that these things come together, definitely, you know, check out all the other stuff that I've got at Trent Knox on pretty much all the platforms or at Trent Knox TV. And I'm not sure when you're going to see me again in terms of a video. So hope this one holds you out for a while if it brings of you any value. Um and see you in the next. Oh, I won't see you. But I hope you see me in my next video. Peace.